Hey everyone, welcome back to Verified Gains. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. Happy Monday. Let's get back into it. Today's date is February 10th, 2025. And let's dive right into the Bitcoin charts over here. So, over the weekend and towards the end of last week, we basically saw this consolidation at a seemingly random price of 97,000 and around, or excuse me, 96,500. Now I was trying to figure out, what's going on at this level. From a very basic bare bone perspective, I mean, there's really no strong horizontal resistance line as far as I can tell as to why we consolidated at that price point. Now, a lot of it might have to do with, um, like basically like the orders. So whether that's like over the counter or CME gaps or anything of that nature, I didn't really take a look at it, but I just thought it was very interesting because, you see these four candles in particular where they pretty much opened and closed at the same price. Um, and, they were overly obsessed with this $96,500 price. Very interesting. But in any case, it would be interesting to see if we do bounce back to the upside from here. You can tell that from the MACD also that it wants to turn around, but not just yet. Okay, it could be a bull trap. Um, any fact of the day, nothing too significant. I mean, we knew about the U.S. sovereign wealth fund, and possibly including Bitcoin as part of the asset. But I do want to focus a little bit more on Solana. And this is a very important video because it's still February. I think a lot of people are starting to have a little bit of doubt in regards to altcoins, the possibility of an alt season, and whether, this cycle is going to be different or not, mainly because of all the politics and the big institutional investors are now dipping their toes into cryptocurrency. But before we discuss about that, let's look at the Solana price chart. Now you can see that over the weekend, we did continue to move to the upside. Now, but in very small increments, but we still haven't formed the red candle that would otherwise retest the $187 mark. And, the recent big news, and I'm not sure if they're talking about it here. Okay, so, they're talking about the first ever Solana ETF. Of course, that would be very, very bullish for Solana. Um, and, they're, this by trading view. Okay, so they're proposing some of their um, predictions. But as you guys know, we don't really do price prediction here anymore. We largely rely on indicators that are, of course, dependent on price, but mostly they are lagging indicators. And we simply ride the wave and try to invest based on those patterns rather than set a certain price point and say, okay, we're actually going to sell at that certain price point. So, taking a look at Solana right now, we're in this horizontal channel between the $187 mark and the $218 mark. Right now, we still have to retest the 218 and consolidate above for me to have a little bit more confidence. The MACD line is starting to flatten a little bit, um, but ideally have to turn around and cross over the signal line for me to have a little bit more confidence in terms of the direction of the price. So these are the different things that I'm taking a look at simultaneously. But I will say, and this is a very important point, in the bigger scheme of things, Solana is at a massive, massive discount. That is just my humble opinion. Even if we were to retest a previous all-time high of, around 296-ish, okay? Guys, that is a 44%, increase to the upside just to retest the previous all-time high. So, this is not financial advice, but if you need money, like for example, I need money. It's not like I like money. Okay, you should never have emotions over money because money doesn't have any emotions over you. It's not a reciprocal relationship. So it's not like I like or love, money. I simply need money. Okay. And if you need money, I mean, guys, a 44% upside to the previous local high, that was only like 3 weeks ago. I mean, this is a no-brainer. To me, this is a no-brainer. So anything, in the 200 or, below 200 is a massive, massive discount. What's the downside risk over here? Back to 176, negative 13%. I'll take that any day. Negative 13 versus plus 44%. And who's to say we will stop at 296? I mean, a lot of people are predicting a 4-digit, price this cycle. And there you go. I again talked about price prediction. But even from a, lagging indicator perspective, I mean, we're nowhere near the top of the bull cycle. A lot of things have to happen. Just to recap, and these are just my perspectives, right? On this channel, Verified Gains. So what are the things that I'm looking at? So let's review. First, I start from Bitcoin, the OG. We turn on the Pi Cycle Top indicator, and I'm looking for the Pi Cycle Top signal, meaning the 111-day moving average crosses over the point at which it intersects the $350 moving average multiplied by 2, depicted by this green line, okay? That's signal number 1, similar to what we're seeing over here, okay? So 111 intersects 350 times 2 right there, okay? That's the top for Bitcoin. Then I look at Bitcoin dominance, and I'm looking for the Bitcoin dominance to drop below 44.00%. So for example, like right here, the first time it crosses below 44.00% after the Pi cycle top. So that's the top for altcoin. And Solana is a layer 1 blockchain. It's not a Bitcoin. And that is the predicted top. So if you look at those indicators, and you guys are welcome to do that on your own time, you'll see that we're nowhere near the top of the bull cycle. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, this cycle is different because now we have all of these ETF, ETF, sorry, you know, governments buying up assets. Just It's just a different game now. Well, I disagree because you talk to somebody walking down the street, and maybe 1 out of 10 people even think about cryptocurrency, meaning there's still a lack of mass adoption. Of course, there's no guarantee there will be a mass adoption, but there's no mass adoption. And until that actually happens for an asset such as, Bitcoin, which is already pre-programmed to have every 4 years, I think we'll continue to see that kind of 4-year cycle pattern, until there is a mass adoption. And it ends up, then I predict it'll end up just plateauing and become a more stable asset that doesn't really, you know, fluctuate with great volatility. And I imagine, take another cycle, maybe in 2028, for that to fully come to fruition. But that's just my prediction. Um, and a lot of people, so why Solana, right? So I believe out of all the layer one blockchains, this is the best one by far. Um, and really the biggest reason is meme coins. So if you look at all the popular meme coins, sure, they're not all Solana, but most are on the Solana network. And, you know, some people say, well, maybe the meme coin season, the altcoin season has already passed. That was actually back in 2024. And now we're just moving on to other stuff, other more serious, quote unquote, serious or, assets that have more utility. Well, guess what? I mean, 90% of people don't even understand what you're talking about if you're talking about the utility or the more advanced blockchain technology related stuff. And a lot of this has to do with market psychology. I mean, humans are very simple creatures when it comes to money making. They just want to make money. I mean, let's say I'm talking about, like a traditional equity, like a technology company or a biotechnology company. And the average retail investor or trader is going through the 10K report, trying to make sense of the balance sheet, trying to make sense of the technology. Well, guess what? I mean, at the end of the day, even with a shallow understanding of it, if they think that they're able to profit greatly from it, they'll still buy it. At the end of the day, that's what it dilutes down to. People just simply want to make money. And if they think that meme coin is an easy way to make money, guess what? A lot of retail traders and investors will end up spending some amount of money into an asset where they believe they can make a large amount of money. And it doesn't matter, how intelligent you are or, how risk averse you are or, whatever amount of money you may have. That's just human psychology, at least in a capitalistic society, where, money determines a lot of the daily activities that we perform. So I still think I'm a strong believer that meme coins are still here. Um, the altcoin season will happen. I strongly predict that the altcoin season is right around the corner. Whether you look at, these recent price movements, just looking at the technical analysis of Bitcoin dominance, which you can tell that right now this MACD is about to drop back down, cross over the signal line, signal a downward price movement, and we know that in the absence of any other black swan events, if the Bitcoin dominance is dropping and the alternative assets are increasing, that's a very, very strong indication of altcoin season. So I believe that we're right around the corner. Okay, I'll end it here because the video is getting a little long. But thanks again for watching. Thanks again for listening in. And I may make another video later if there's any significant price movement. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.